The very same people that were meant to protect her. They took her life like she was trash that just got taken out.
In 2006, Banaz Mahmoud was brutally murdered by her family in the name of so-called honour.
It's just blood-curdling to even think that that could happen to someone by their own family.
Her sister Bekhal then testified in court against their family members, revealing her own experiences of unimaginable abuse.
Anything that you see could be used to hit you. He dragged me into the middle, one on one leg, one on the other. I would never wish that on anybody. He had a dumbbell in his hand. Blood was pouring down my face. I thought that I was going to be it.
This is her story. The story you're about to hear may include sensitive themes. Please listen with care. The experiences and views shared belong to the individuals involved and reflect their own experiences and beliefs.
Cool. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me today. You know, it's a lot for you because you are under witness protection. So we've obviously had to conceal your identity. And I know that this is a risk for you anytime you speak out and put yourself in these scenarios. There is a potential for some retaliation from your family.
Yeah, I definitely am not safe. But yes, it is definitely something that I wholeheartedly want to do for Banaz, my sister.
So I've been reading a huge amount about your story and your sister's story, and this term honour-based abuse. Would you be able to explain what honour-based abuse is?
Honour in Iraq, in my own culture, it's to minimise shame being brought onto the family, what they see as shame, disgracing them.
And what were some of the rules, either kind of explicit or non-explicit rules in your family that you had to follow as a child?
Not have an opinion of your own, not answer back, restrictions on what you watch on TV, a jumper or trousers, leggings that was a little bit skin tight. You're restricted in every shape or form.
As a child, what role did your father play in your life?
The punisher. That's literally how I could put it. You're always thinking, can I say this? Can I do this? Am I going to get into trouble? Am I going to get slapped, spit on? Anything that you see could be used to hit you. Ladle, spoon, spatula, belt, hose. And Banaz went through the same.
Did you realise that this was abuse, or was this just so normalised for you?
It was normalised every day from morning to night.
It's just horrendous to hear what you had to go through as a child.
Yeah.
When I was reading about your story, one of the things that made me feel so upset was the fact that you experienced female genital mutilation at the age of 8.
Yeah. I remember it like it was today. I remember it. One by one, the girls were getting pulled in my grandmother's room, and I could just hear screams. And me and my cousin, we went into their toilets and hid there, and they came looking for us. My older cousin, she grabbed us and tried to lift us over her shoulder. And I was kicking and screaming. I just knew something bad was going on.
And you didn't know quite what it was going to be at this point?
No, but I could see blood, I could see cotton wool, and I could see alcohol. You could smell it. He dragged me into the middle, pulled my clothes down, and one on one leg, one on the other. Somebody was holding my arms, and my grandmother was at the top of my head. And I remember she had cataracts, and she cut more than she should have. Then I remember them shouting to each other, heat up the oil. They boiled lard, because with lard, when it gets cold, it goes hard. So they put lard on me to stop the bleeding naturally rather than dying from an overbleed. So for the next 4 to 5 weeks, I walked from foot to foot with my legs wide open and a long dress on. I didn't stop bleeding for days.
That must leave you with some horrendous emotional scars and memories. How does it feel to look back at that 8-year-old little girl who had to go through that?
It's scarred me for life. I would never wish that on anybody. The pain that it leaves you with, the trauma. And this is all meant to be to tame your sexuality. How does that sound right? To cut somebody like that, nearly killing them. No woman should ever have to go through that.
I agree. So This happens at the age of 8. You experience endless abuse. When do you move to the UK?
We moved to the UK February 1998.
And how old were you at this point?
14 and a half, 15. In a way, it probably was their worst mistake coming to the UK, my family, because different rules, different culture, different upbringing, everything was different. So it opened my eyes up to try to be my own person. I would try different things, loosen my tie, for example, after school, because you're not in school no more. I got into trouble a lot of times over little things like that. In most cultures, you have, teen years where you have sleepovers or you go shopping near Christmas or things like that. I didn't do none of that.
So even though you came to live here, your family did still want to experience culturally what you would have back where you grew up. Am I right in thinking that your father wanted you and your sisters forced into marriage?
Yes, that was discussed from about 14 and a half, 15. For example, I was promised to my mum's sister's son. So that's first cousin.
Mm-hmm. And knowing that there was forced marriage coming your way, you ran away from home, didn't you?
Yes, I went to social services, yeah. And there is a lot of guilt that I walked away. And Banaz got the whole lot of punishment because there must have been resentment from my parents.
Can you talk to me about that?
My dad was more the issue than anything. The social service worker brought a recorded cassette tape, and as soon as I pressed play, he started saying, if you don't come home, this is what I will do. I will start killing from the youngest to oldest and then myself. And I can hear my mum wailing in the background. Please, I'm begging you, please, come home. Don't let him do this. I couldn't let that be carried out and then I stay alive to carry all that guilt. So yeah, I went home.
What happened when you walked back through that door?
Didn't feel right. I knew there was a plan going on for me to get sent back, to get married in Iraq. And it didn't take long for me to leave the house again.
At the time, did you feel that you were able to report the abuse and what you'd experienced?
No, at the time, no. Whoever I told, they kind of looked at you with eyebrow raised. And where did you read that from? It kind of felt like they were thinking, I'm making it up, or I've heard this somewhere and I'm just repeating it. They couldn't imagine that actually happening. And in a way, that is discrimination because you're not thinking of, well, what I know might not be somebody else's reality.
Yeah, that makes me so sad. Because even just speaking out, not saying that you're necessarily going down a formal reporting route at this point, you're just asking adults around you, anyone who will listen, for help.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart, the fact that you weren't listened to.
Yeah. This is so disappointing because I believed there was hope.
And after everything you went through, it's hard to believe that there's hope.
Exactly.
So after you run away again, your brother calls you and says that he wants to meet up with you.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about what happened that day?
My brother was someone I looked up to. And when I left home, I still kept in contact with him. He was telling me that there was this cleaning job in Mitcham and he wanted me to help him and we'd get some money out of it. And obviously, being away from home, I didn't have funds in my account. So I met up with him. So then he starts explaining to me that, look, I want you to walk ahead of me and don't look back. So as we start walking, we go over this bridge and fear started kicking in because it was getting darker and darker in this area now. So I'm walking ahead of him and we come to this big gate, big metal iron gate. Suddenly I heard the footsteps bouncing off the gravel and getting closer and closer to me. As I went to look right, he had a dumbbell in his hand.
Wow.
And I felt the knock and start dropping to the floor. And I can't lie, at that moment, sorry.
It's okay.
I thought that was going to be it. And he's dragging me backwards. And I'm starting to come round more. I put my hand on my head. And as I touched my head, it was like a sponge. Blood was pouring down my face. I kicked him in the knee and I started shuffling backwards away from him. And I came to my feet And I'm putting my hands up towards him, telling him, just take a seat and let's talk, please. I'm begging you, let's just talk. Telling him to look at my face and recognize who I am to him.
This is not a stranger, this is your own brother.
Yep. And he said that he was paid by my dad to do this, and he needs to stop the shame that I'm bringing into this family. And I'm saying to him, just tell them that I'm dead. Tell my family that I'm dead. I won't cause any issues. Nobody will hear from me again. I waited till he's calmed down and is trusting me enough to walk away without finishing the job off, because I'm trying to tell him I won't tell no one, I promise. And my friend came and got me and drove me to Mayday Hospital. When I got there, I got between 10 to 13 stitches.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it, that he'd gone so far as doing that, and I actually walked away.
And while this is all happening to you, your sister is at home with your parents and she's having a lot of issues herself, isn't she?
Yes.
What was Banaz's story and what was happening while you were in care?
Banaz went through forced marriage. I think it was between 16 and 17 roughly.
Mm.
She was basically his servant. He was violent to her. He didn't see her as another human being and had any rights. He saw her just being there to serve his purpose. That should have been the last time my sister went through anything like that. We've got hospital trips where she has gone because of how hard he hit her. That's when social services, police, doctors, ambulance service, all of these people should have collectively got together and said, this person is in danger.
Mm. How was she the last time you saw her?
Not good. Her face was drawn in. You could see her cheekbones sticking out. Her eye sockets was sunk in. She looked drained.
Mm.
She looked like she was being held against her will, basically.
That must have just been so horrendous and claustrophobic for her.
Yeah, absolutely. And it came to a point where there was no happiness in it left at all. So she didn't want to be with him anymore, so she walked away. She met somebody and she fell in love with him.
What was your family's response to that?
My family decided to take matters into their own hands and not let her have any form of life if it wasn't with her original husband.
What happened to her?
They had a family meeting at a family location. People attended. They plotted of how they were going to do this, because this is enough shame coming onto us now. We can't put up with it anymore. The family name is in jeopardy. They marked who was going to do who had what part to play, and, who was going to get paid. And they done what they done to her. They strangled her. They done horrific things to her. And they took her life in my family's home.
This was a heavily orchestrated,
Absolutely.
planned sequence of events. And it is just blood-curdling to even think that that could happen to someone, especially by their own family.
Exactly. People carried it out, actually done the actions of the horrific things they done to Banaz was the immediate cousins and second cousins. And the people who put it together was my dad and my uncle.
Wow.
The very same people that were meant to protect her. They left home willingly to let these people come into the house and take her, end her life, stuff her into a suitcase, and to take her away in a hired car, miles away, to be buried in an abandoned home, like she was trash that just got taken out. That's how much her life meant to them. And I don't think they ever thought they would get caught.
But they eventually did get caught.
Yes.
How did that come about?
It was due to her boyfriend not hearing from her that morning. So the police, they started realising, well, something's happened because we can't get hold of her. And I think this is where the investigation started.
Was it the police that told you about your sister's murder?
Yes. To hear all of that and to be told what they done to her, I will forever... I can't even see Banaz in my dreams. I don't dream of her. I'm always having nightmares. Always, because of what I know they did to her. That puts the fear in you to never be too comfortable to let your guard down.
And you had to face your family in court.
Yeah.
How was that?
I feared for my life like I had never before. But every time I wanted to back out, I thought of Banaz. She's not here. Who is defending her? I couldn't sit there and live with myself knowing that Banaz's life was taken and I knew who was responsible.
So what sentences did your family receive?
My dad got 20 years to life. My uncle got 23 years to life. The other members of family got shorter. I wish it was more. I wish they wouldn't see a day of light outside the prison again, because that's how I feel. I feel like I'm in a prison. I'm left with the grief I feel for my sister.
I'm not giving up.
I am selling the building.
The final season of FX's The Bear.
The restaurant is flooded.
Everything's either gonna be okay.
No, stop!
Or not.
We are outgunned and we are outmanned, but we have each other.
FX's The Bear, the final season. All episodes now streaming on Disney+.
As a result of you testifying in court, you're now under witness protection for your safety. What does that mean your life is like?
My life is very isolated. Hearing people talking in my language makes me tense up. It makes me abandon my shopping. I look at people walking down the street, 2-3 generations together, and I envy that. I don't have that. It's not easy.
And obviously, just standing up in court and facing your family and your abusers alone is so incredibly brave and resilient of you, but that hasn't stopped there, has it? You've continued campaigning for Banaz's law.
Yes, it's something that I'm passionate about because of Banaz, and I want to make this change happen.
So what exactly are you calling for with Banaz's law?
I am calling for change to ensure that accountability for perpetrators is put in place by increasing the punishment they receive so that people like my uncle and my dad can get longer time.
Are you also calling for change in terms of the police services and other emergency services to be better educated in what abuse may look like in different cultures and how to identify it?
Yes, exactly. Banaz actually reported 5 times to the police: rape, physical assault, attempts to actually kill.
But none of this was followed up.
None. Until it was too late. They followed up after her life had been taken. It shouldn't have got to that. If the police and social services keep making the same mistakes they did, there will be more lives lost. And that's what I'm trying to change for other women.
Mm-hmm. So you've written a book to talk about your story and share your experience. What led you to want to do that?
Yes, I wanted to do something that just put everything into one, to bring light onto what happened to Banaz and to share my experience with others, to let them know you're not on your own. And yeah, it was one of the best decisions I've made in my life.
You are such an incredibly strong, resilient woman. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for coming on here and sharing your story.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
If you or someone you know has been affected by the issues raised in this episode, please refer to the description for external resources.